am jamming. Welcome to Own It Magazine and Publish. I'm so excited. I forgot why I'm here. Welcome to Own It Magazine and Publishing. I am here with Lifestyles and Leisure Living CoverGirl for May 20. And we are focusing in on Hawaii. So check it out. Dr. Reid is in the house with me. Listen, people, all work and no play is no fun at all. And then you know why people are not happy on the job. They're not happy in their lives because if you work so hard, but you don't enjoy your labor of pain and you don't celebrate your small and great achievements, that's why you're not happy. And I created Lifestyles and Leisure Living. It's so that we work hard and own it. We are working hard and own it. We are self-developing. We are advancing in our careers. We are being strategic and intentional. We are running our businesses, and we are sometimes running ourselves into the ground. And so I said, how do we teach them balance, work-life balance? How do we teach that? We teach that by example. Lifestyles and Leisure Living focuses this month for the Dr. Reid and where she lives, and she lives in Hawaii. So, Dr. Reid, she is the master. Listen, introduce yourself to the people. We've been talking and interviewing, unclocking our creative purpose. We have been, looking at things from a different perspective and how we address those things and our, through the middle ages, getting through menopause. We talk. Introduce yourself. This is more that. Introduce yourself to the people. Who are you, Dr. Reid?
Well, this is a laid back me, right? The laid back me is Dr. Reid, aka I have like a gazillion nicknames. Depending on who you are, I have a few of those. I am the lover of life. I am the champion for women. Their freedom advocate. I call myself the freedom advocate for women, helping you unclock your life so you can start living life on its terms. I'm a world traveler. I'm an artist. I'm a connoisseur of books. I'm an author. I do everything that God said I could do, and I ask him for more things that I can do. That's who I am.
Oh, awesome. That is a good thing. He's always looking. He says, concerning the works of my hand, command ye me. What is the desires of your heart? He says, I will give you the desires of your heart. So you got to know yourself in order to know what those desires are. And so we teach you to tap into that. But let's talk about Hawaii. We're here on the platform for Lifestyles and Leisure Living from Own It Magazine. And our focus this month is on Hawaii. So talk to us about what made you decide. I'm asked that question often. What made you decide to move to Hawaii?
Well, it wasn't a glamorous experience. It wasn't. Most people go to Hawaii because they want to, they're going on their honeymoon and they're doing all these wonderful things. And I got to Hawaii because my husband and I were having some really bad challenges and we were this close to getting a divorce. And since my husband is such a gracious gentleman, he said, you know what, regardless of what's happening to us, I want you to enjoy your birthday because our first date was on my birthday, which is 12 midnight after Valentine's Day. So he booked a resort for me to go to, the beautiful modern resort at Waikiki. And he said, even if you don't see me, I want you to have a good time. But if you like to, I will take you to dinner. So that before that, we had an 11-hour conversation. I kid you not, it was 11 hours. And I went through this and I went through that and I went through this and I went through that and I went through this and I went through that. And by the time I got there, we had another long conversation. We went to dinner. I stayed in the hotel and I enjoyed myself. And I found that week 1 went by, week 2 went by, week 3. It's only supposed to be for 3 days. And during that time, I not only got a chance to reconnect with my husband, but I got a chance to see what paradise was about with beyond being the tourist. And so we did all the tourist stuff. And I have my home where I live here in Maryland. And he kept saying, well, you can live in both places. And I'm like, I can? He says, yeah, you have choices. You can choose to live in Hawaii and you can choose to stay in Maryland, or you can do both. And I was like, I think I'll do both. And so right now I'm in Maryland and I'll be here for a few weeks and then I'm going back home to Hawaii. and it's been a year.
See, see what happens when you unclock?
So, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because unclock also means releasing old hurts, releasing old traumas, releasing the things that no longer serve you. There's a place for women that we want to hold on to that because it validates our behavior. But at some point, you want to get to a place where you say, but I want to be loving. I want to be kind. I don't want to be the wounded bird. I don't want to be the victim. Let's clear this stuff up. And so having that 11-hour conversation with my husband opened things up for me, because got a chance to point the finger at him, and all he did was just accept it. And once he accepted it, then I had to look at the three fingers that was back at me, and I was like, oh. So it was growth. It took him to say, you know what, babe, you're right. All those things you're saying, you're right. There was no more argument. And then I had to go, okay, what part did I play? Unclocking says I have to evaluate my own position from the place that I show up. Am I the wounded little girl? Am I the jaded mother? Am I the wiser guardian, or I am the faith-filled crone? Because those are the four phases of a woman's life. And when I made that distinction, it was easy for me not to understand the dynamic of my relationship with my husband, but I was able to understand the dynamic of the relationships in every aspect of my life. And then that's when I said, oh, I get it. And I felt completely liberated. And that's why I call it unclocking. I'm so passionate about it. I made shoes for it.
Ah, I love it.
So in my book, I teach clients a technique called reflect, reframe, renew. So that's what's on the sneaker. I believe that women should wear their vision on them. Like, I never understood what the pink outfit meant when it said pink, but it was black. Like, what does that mean? But when you put on a pair of shoes and it says reflect, reframe, renew, it's reminding you to stand in your power, because you are what? Unclocked, right? So I want to wear gear and give women gear that's going to remind them of the journey that they're on. And so I had to start my new Etsy shop. And every time I work with the client, I share with them that the most important aspect of any journey is self-love first, but also be willing to give it back, because life will break your heart, but really your heart is broken open. So every time I finish a session, I do this to my clients and say, I love you, ladies. I sincerely love you from the bottom of my heart. And so that's become our signature sign out. And so I got the hat to match.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
So this is living. This is living. This is how I live. I allow God to use all of my creative ideas, and I make them work in every aspect of my life that they're supposed to show up. Right. So now, who knew that I was going to have a clothing line for women over 40 to feel to feel comfortable in their skin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's how I got to Hawaii.
That is awesome. Well, here is a glimpse into her shop. So you get to see some. She has t-shirts, she has mugs, she has candles, she has bags, she has sneakers, she has workout gear. And you can see her link right here on the ticker tape below. You can see it right below. You can see her phone number, and then you can see her boutique. So you want to make sure that you check it out. Go see what things are happening over there, because she's got a whole lineup of good stuff. And also, wear and apparel and everything else is in the Lifestyles and Leisure Living magazine. There's a full spread on hot places to go in Hawaii, different dishes to eat in Hawaii, beautiful hotels. Oh my God, doing the research about Hawaii was so cool. You know what? You forget about Pearl Harbor, and then there's different facets to the Pearl Harbor exhibit as well. I mean, it's massive. That's huge.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that you could do in Hawaii. And the one thing that I really love about doing this magazine is the fact that you have to do the research. And when you have to do the research, we talked about that in the Lit magazine. Like when you got to read and you got to study and you got to expand your mind, you actually expand your resources and you give yourself the opportunity to have choices, right? So when you think about Hawaii, do you think about where you're going to stay? The magazine provides different places, direct links to the websites, also to the numbers to the hotels. There's excursions included in the magazine for people to check out. Lots and lots and lots to do. What's your favorite Hawaiian dish?
Oh, my favorite Hawaiian dish would be actually an acai bowl. Actually, that is my favorite dish. The acai berry is a berry that's it's like kind of like a blueberry, and they mash it up and they put it in as the base, and then on top of it they might put fresh coconut, or gluten-free granola and fresh fruits. What would be kiwi, strawberries, and additional blueberries. The reason why I like it so much because it's full of antioxidants, and in Hawaii there's a lot of sun. And since there's a lot of sun, you need to be cautious of the free radicals that's in the environment. So eating a lot of antioxidants is really good. The coconuts, when you get the coconuts. What else? The purple sweet potato is one of my favorites as well. The purple sweet potato is really good for digestion. So now I'm talking about the naturopathic side, right? Because I can't live in this tropical place and not really embody the food because that's my specialty, biochemistry. And so I like the foods that are indigenous to the environment. My other favorite food, you would not believe, there is this place, what is this called? New York Diner, and they have the best pizza I have ever had on the planet.
Wow.
The best I've ever, I don't know whether it's the dough, whether it's the fresh ingredients, but everything is so fresh. It's very fresh there. Um, Dishes, there's a traditional, so what people might not understand is Hawaii is a melting pot of the specific Pacific Islands. So you have Japanese and Thailand and Filipino and Samoa and Fiji. All of those different cultures are a melting pot in there. And so one of the most prolific restaurants or foods that people gravitate in Hawaii are actually tacos and burritos. You wouldn't imagine. And then you have the poke raw fish bowls if you like poke. But yeah, tacos are the hot thing in Hawaii, but there are the indigenous foods from all of these other places. So it's not so much what my favorite food is, it's more so what I am willing to try. And one of the things that I love that I've decided that I really like is a new version of calamari that we're probably not used to. We're used to those little calamari rings when we get calamari from a restaurant, but there's a calamari steak that's as big as a steak and it's breaded and it's fabulous. It's another slice of the squid that you didn't know that was there, and it is absolutely delicious. So I would say calamari steak. That would be it.
It's so interesting because right here in the DR, I eat a lot of calamari. I eat a lot of squid.
Yeah.
I even eat the conch straight
Oh
up.
yes, con soup. Oh my gosh, that's good
It's so
eating.
good. Oh my God. I just eat it with the lime squeezed on it.
Yep.
And right out of the
Right
water.
of the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're out here and they're grabbing them. This one guy, he's the master of presenting it. I mean, because some of them they just cut it out and it's just a mess, but it's still good to eat. But this one guy just dices it up really pretty, puts it on a little dish, and you're just able to just eat it right then and there. And it was like, what are you open to? What are you really open to? What are you unclocked to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
unclocked to experience? And it just is. It's so good. So share with me a special place on the island that you love to go.
Oh, my husband and I like to go to a place called Kiana Point. And then Pupukia. No, Pupukia is my favorite place. Pupukia, there's a picture of me at Pupukia in the magazine where I'm sitting on the coral rocks. And there's a big coral formation that kind of protects the mainland, the land from the ocean. So the ocean comes over the coral, but it creates a lagoon. And within that lagoon, you can walk around and see Nemo and all the other little schools of fish that you see on television. And you don't need snorkeling gear because you're looking down at the water and it's right there. So they're swimming around and you could just sit on the coral rocks and watch them. That's one of my favorite places to go. And right across the street, literally, there's grass and a street vendor section where you can get all the street vendor foods, but then you can walk across the street and go back to this vast ocean experience with this beautiful coral. So that's one of my favorite places called Pupukia. The other place I like to go is a place called Kiana Point. And Kiana Point is beautiful because you get to see the aspect of the mountains in relationship to the ocean. So you just look up. But at the top of it, there's space balls where the Space Force is, and they're actually looking for UFOs. So, like the signs of life. So, you have the. And so, if you go on the map and you say, I want to go to the Space Force, they'll go, that doesn't exist. But when you get there, the sign is plain as day says Space Force. So, you have to know how to get to Kiana Point. And it's one of the most beautiful places where hikers go to hike because you can hike up that mountain and your view from the hike is the ocean. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful place to live. I'm so grateful for disagreements and makeups.
Yes, because you never know where things can take you, right? And what options or opportunities await you. It's interesting.
Exactly.
I was looking for places to go because I look for excursions with each issue. Whenever we highlighted a location, I look for excursions. Where, what can people do? And I try my best to find something that's unusual, something that is, you've not heard of before, an activity to do or a place to go. And what's interesting is you have a Chinatown.
Yes, but I wouldn't go.
What's going on with the Chinatown? Because I was looking close.
Well, let's kind of dispel some myths. Hawaii is a very beautiful place. I live on the island of Oahu. And Oahu is where the famous Waikiki is, and Honolulu. That's what Oahu was famous for. However, if you're not in the touristy areas of that place, then you're subject to the regular stuff that happens in any city: the loud music, the booming systems, the ambulances, people speeding, traffic jams. It's the same any place else. And so when you talk about going down to Chinatown, you have a lot of the same stuff, but you also have the not so positive side when it gets a little dark. That's not a place where you want to just walk around at night and just go, let's go to Chinatown. You better don't. Right? Just like you wouldn't go to the seedier places in your neighborhood where you live. Now, not to say that Chinatown doesn't offer its beautiful places and things to see, but it also has that other side. And I wouldn't want anybody to get misconstrued about what we can and can't do. Even in Waikiki, that's a beautiful place, but there's a lot of activity. And there's a lot of activity because there's a lot of tourists. And tourists bring what? The
Yeah.
seedier side of reality. So, we're in paradise, but we have to be in the world, but not of the world. We have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, even when we go to a place that we call paradise. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Same Dominican Republic. It's like when you're in a certain area, you're in that certain area. But when you go outside the area, there is, and again, it goes back to just like you say, the thumping sound systems, the loud music, the partying and everything else. And so yeah, so you have that. So it's funny because as I began to search and going into and diving deeper into Chinatown, it's like, oh my God, this is like, so you get to see the different pictures. So you a little bit about what you're saying without having, without having you actually say it. But it was interesting to see that there's a Chinatown, and there's also two captured on the island, the Japanese culture as well.
It is. It is. But I like to highlight I like to highlight the indigenous cultures of the Pacific Islands. And so you would find that like when you want to go and experience the what you see on television, you want to experience a luau to understand what a luau is and what it means and how it does. You would want to go to the Polynesian Cultural Center because at that center you take this boat through this it's like a gondola like in Venice, right? So I've been to Italy. When you go in this boat, you get a chance to get off the boat and stop at these mock villages that represents the islands of the Fijians or of the Tahitians or the Polynesians, and they talk to you about their culture. They'll do their cultural dance and share their cultural food with you as you're looking at the exhibits, and you get back on kind of like the boat and you travel down further along the river and you get off again and you go to another place. And so that's a way to understand the Pacific Islanders, right? It's not, and one of the things that Pacific Islanders, they actually don't necessarily appreciate what tourism has done to the island, but they appreciate and they're gracious to the people who come to visit because they know that tourism is their bread and butter. So they're very gracious people, and they practice something called the aloha spirit. And the aloha spirit just means happiness and gratitude. So it's very kind. If you want to go to a place where you feel like people are going to treat you like people, it will be Hawaii. They have the ahana spirit, which just means family. So it's a very
Wow.
beautiful place, but it has its nuances. So if you're a tourist, yeah, do the touristy stuff, but then go off the beaten path and get connected with the culture and the history of the people in Hawaii. You'd be amazed at what you discover.
Wow, wow. Yeah. That's beautiful. So how long have you lived in Hawaii?
Now in a year. February 3rd would have been a year. And my husband has
Wow.
been there almost 3 years. So he left 2 years before. I told you we was this close to a divorce, like this close. The ink was on the paper, and we had both signed. And the only thing that changed is when it was time for the divorce hearing, we were both like, do you really want to do this? I don't know. Do you really want to? Nah, we don't want to do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What
And
an
so that
incredible
tragedy turned to paradise. Yeah.
wow. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you, yeah,
Yeah,
have
because
this.
that would have been a waste of 17 years of my life. I've been in it with this man for 17 years. Like, why stop now? We clarified it. So it was such a growing place. But a lot of couples don't have an opportunity to get into a new environment to recultivate. They have to work it out in their old stagnant environment. So that was a blessing to be able to venture out and be in a new place to work out old problems. It was easier to do it in a new place. It really was. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes two to tangle because you said he had a heart to make sure that you enjoyed your birthday, and as a
Yeah.
result of him having that kind of a heart, it takes two. It really, really, even in your dissension, even in your disagreement, it still takes two.
Yeah.
And if you're open to it, then you're open to it. Anything is possible and can be restored
Yeah.
if you have two willing hearts to do that. You guys, somebody's got to step forward and show kindness and an open
Yeah.
door to reconciliation. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! So this has been incredible. I want to throw up here her Etsy website. You gotta go check it out. The link is right here, so you can go. And also too, you can actually Google Dr. Reid, and her Etsy account will come up. All of that good stuff comes up. And so we are just so happy to have her. She's on our cover of Lifestyles and Leisure Living. Look at that beautiful smile, that beautiful face. And we cover in this particular issue her home. Away from her home is Hawaii, and so really love it. You can see everything that's offered in this month's issue. It's already gone out to our subscribers. In fact, we did the triple cover feature, and we sent all three out together to our subscribers this morning. So everybody, check your email if you're already a subscriber. If not, just message me. I'll be more than happy to get you a copy out so you can see it. You can also message and connect with Dr. Reid. She has all three copies as well, and she's been more than happy to share them with you as she is on the cover of all of them. And so this is her practice. It's unclocking your creative purpose, redefining wellness for women of 40 plus, spirit, mind, body, and spirit, mind, and body. Welcome to your healing place with Dr. Stepanie Reid. Please get in touch with her. Her number there, she is charging you. She is doing a call to action. She's saying, call her because if you want to get unclocked and you want to you want to tap into your creative purpose, you want to connect with her. You know, coaching. You need a coach that knows how to get you to the finish line and give you that empowerment that's required for you to power up, level up, and own who you are in this next phase of your life. So, Dr. Reid, I'm going to give you an opportunity to close us out. Any closing?
Well, in closing, I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for selecting me for this triple experience of being the cover of 3 phenomenal magazines. Like, how did I get the honor? What, me? But I also like to say to women, don't get lost in the coaching aspect, because I'm not only a coach, I'm a doctor of naturopathic medicine first. And so my specialty is helping you get to the root cause of your physical dis-ease as well, recognizing that your physical dis-ease has everything to do with the misalignment of your spirit and your mind. And so when you're looking to be well, you cannot just look for herbs. You can just not look for a tea that do X, Y, and Z. You need to integrate your spirit, your mind, and a body. You can't do it by yourself because you don't know enough. You don't know what you don't know. So you might as well just call me so we can get it all done in one fell swoop. Numbers right there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We thank you so very much. This has been wonderful. What a wealth of information. Thank you for sharing that inner space to know some things that people need us to be transparent about, challenges in our life and how we've overcome those challenges and maintain the course of living a thriving life, you know, a thriving lifestyle. This has been Lifestyles and Leisure Living with Own It Magazine and Publishing. We love you so very much and we are out. Take care and be blessed.
Take care. Be blessed.